Hello everyone, welcome to another class of English grammar. In our previous classes we had learnt about what are verbs. We had learnt about the different kinds of verbs like your transitive verbs and intransitive verbs. We learnt about direct object and indirect object among other things. Today we'll be learning three more topics. The three topics are forms of verbs, and we'll be learning about some confused verbs, easily confused verbs, and we will be learning about how to form verbs. So let us first start with forms of verbs. Okay, so first, tense, as we know it, it tells the time of an action. It tells which time a particular action took place. It tells if the action occurred in the past. It tells if the action is occurring in the present, or it also tells that if the action will happen in the future. So we can say that tense changes the form of a verb to tell time. Like for example, if I say she ate, from that you know that the action has already happened, means the action is in the past. If I say she will eat, from that you know that the action will happen in the future. If I say that she eats at 8 am, from that you know that the action happens in the present. So we can say that tense changes the form of a verb to tell the time. The verb without any changes to it, we call its base form, like that eat which I was telling you about. See, eat changed its form several times to tell tense or to tell the time, but eat itself is the fundamental form, the base form, and that's what we call the base form. The form of the verb without any changes to it or without any changes in tense to it, we call the base form. Now the thing is, English verbs are classified into two types, regular verbs and irregular verbs. First we'll be learning what are regular verbs. So the verbs, when the changes of tense occur to it, means they are changed into past. When they are changed into past, they add means they have an ed or t suffix added to them. We call them regular verbs. Means these are verbs, when you want to convert them into past tense, then you add ed or t at the end. Like for example, jump, the past of jump is jumped. See, I added a ed to it. Then again the past participle is also ed. But there are some verbs also where we add t, like for example, learn. Learn, the past form, I added a ed to it. The spelling of learn is wrong. And the past participle form, I added a t at the end, right? So basically those verbs, when we convert them into past, we add ed or t suffix. Suffix means a bunch of letters or words added at the end. When we add ed or t at the end, we call them regular verbs. Now there are some verbs also which change their spellings completely when we want to speak about them in the past form. Like see, here I was talking jump, in past it became jumped. Park, the past became only park. But there are some verbs whose massive spelling changes occur in them. Like for example, awake, it became awoke. Bite, it became bit. Blow, it became blew. Like these. And then awoken, bitten, blown. See, changes in the base form occurred here. Here the base form was not changed, only ed or t was added at the end. So such verbs we call regular verbs, and these kind of verbs we call irregular verbs. Okay, next we are going to do a few exercises on it, on the basis of it. You have to fill them with the correct form of the verbs, and these things I assume you guys can do yourself. So you guys try. If you cannot do, I'll be helping you. Next, we have easily confused verbs. Okay, So there are few verbs which are given here which we get easily confused at places. So we have bear and bear. Now I'm not talking about the bear, the animal. These both are verbs, and on the basis of the context you have to recognize which bear is used. Like when I say Timmy bore 2 puppies, here it means that Timmy the dog gave birth to 2 puppies. Here bear means to give birth. Then another bear means to carry something, means she bore herself with dignity, means she carried herself with dignity. Now the past participle form of these both are this bear is born and this bear is born. It's the same, the pronunciation is the same, but based on the context you are supposed to know which bear you are supposed to use. Now again, fall. The meaning of fall is to this is obvious, like to come from a higher place to a more lower place, and from a higher level to a lower level, like the girl fell from the cycle. So the past participle form is fallen. Then there is another fell, which means to cause something to fall, means to apply pressure or to give force to something so that it falls down. Like for example, the woodcutter felled the trees. Here the spelling of fell, it is not wrong, the past form of fall. Here this is an entirely different verb, hence I used felled. Then this is a very easily confused verb that we use in our day-to-day life. The differences in between lay, lie and lie. So first, lay means to put something down on the floor or on surface of something, and the meaning of lie is to rest, means to put to make yourself to sleep basically, right? And the third one is lie, which is very common, that is to speak not the truth, right? So the past form of lay is laid, and the past form of lie is lay, and the past form of lie is lied. To again know where they are used, you have to know the context. Like if I say he lied to me about his job, it means that he did not speak the truth. Here I have to understand that the meaning of lie is that he is not speaking the truth. Here the meaning of lie is not that he is resting or he is sleeping or he is putting something down. Right. The fourth one we have raise. Raise means to lift something up, means to put something up, and there is rise, which means to go upwards, right? So raise means you are putting a part of your body upside, or you are taking something and you are picking it up. Rise means as your whole body you are going upwards, right? So the past of raise is raised and raised, and the past of rise is rise, rose and risen. This one is a common one. So on the basis of this, there's another one too, see. So see means to look at something, right? Means this is a common word. And the past is saw, like I saw you at the party, and the past participle form is seen. Then there is another saw. Saw, I think you must be aware about an instrument which is used to cut wood. So this is that saw. So saw means to cut. So the past is sawed and the past participle is sawed. So I sawed through the wood does not mean you were able to view through the wood. It means that you cut the wood into 2 pieces, right? On the basis of what you learned, you are supposed to do these things. I'll be helping you too in the Google Meet class. Next, you have verb formation. So how do you form verbs? To form a verb, it is the same thing like we did in executive. You add a prefix or you add a suffix to the different word. Like for example, by adding a prefix en to the noun circle, I can make it a verb which is encircle. Encircle means to create a circle. So yeah, similarly by adding prefixes or suffixes to any word, not any word, by adding to prefixes and suffixes to certain words, we can create verbs. Like for example, here if I add a prefix AC to company, it becomes a company, which means to go along with somebody. Or if I will add a prefix AC to the word credit, it becomes a credit. Like similarly, there are several words on before which we can add certain prefixes and they become verbs. And also there are certain words on after them you have to add after them you add a few suffixes and they become verbs. Like active becomes activate when you add the suffix ate to it. So yeah, similarly you are going to learn these things. I will suggest you. Then the practice exercise tells you to make verbs, to create verbs using the method that we learned just earlier. So I hope you understood some these things which I taught to you. And yeah, that's it for today. And thank you for watching. I hope you understood something. Thank you.